Aloha and welcome to Action Island. We are back for Monday Night Football between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm joined, of course, with my two favorite Islanders, Nick Giffen and Sean Koerner. I'm Gilles Gallant. And the three of us, we're going to give out our two best bets for tonight's showdown between the Bucs and Chiefs. So here's how it works for Action Island. Each of us will give our two favorite bets for tonight's game. Then we're going to vote on our pick. And by the end of the show, we'll have a nice tropical same game parlay for you. But first up, though, if you want access to all of Action Pro projections, make sure to sign up for our annual subscription that is currently on sale. Access includes exclusive player prop picks from Sean Koerner and other members of the Action Analytics team. You'll also get access to exclusive expert articles, our best spread, money line, and total bets, and real ticket and money percentages. To sign up, visit actionnetwork.com/pro today and use code ISLAND20 at sign up. One more time, that's ISLAND20, ISLAND20 at sign up for $20 off. All right, well, let's get started. We're going to make a same game parlay for Monday Night Football. Nick, you've got two bets for us. Why don't you tell us what it is?
All righty. So we are going to start with a side here, and I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers +9. There is a +9.5 out there. I think for the SGP, we're doing it at +9. This is a pretty tough matchup for Patrick Mahomes. He's actually been at his worst this year throwing against cover 3 defenses, and Tampa Bay plays cover 3 at the third highest rate. So there could be a little bit less efficiency in the passing game for Mahomes. And then Tampa Bay is better against the run than they are the pass in terms of defensive DVOA. So it could be tough for the Chiefs to move the ball all game, potentially in both facets of the game, because of the way Tampa Bay's pass defense sets up against Patrick Mahomes with that high rate of cover 3. On the other side of the ball, Kansas City, their defense gets pressure at a top 2 rate in the NFL, and they blitz at one of the top rates in the NFL. So normally that would negatively impact a lot of quarterbacks. But Baker Mayfield is one of those where it doesn't really do that. Baker Mayfield's splits versus pressure, no pressure, and blitz, no blitz are relatively neutral. When it's a blitz, he has actually a higher yards per attempt against blitzes at 8.9 yards per attempt versus blitzes versus 7.2 yards per attempt with no blitz. And then when there's pressure generated, whether it comes from a blitz or not, he has 7.1 yards per attempt versus pressure and 7.8 yards per attempt versus no pressure. Virtually no difference there, less than a full yard per attempt. Also, if we look at the luck rankings, this isn't a luck rankings game, but it's kind of getting close. These two teams have a 16-place differential in the luck rankings. And also, there is some recency luck bias as well. Tampa Bay is coming off 2 unlucky results, meaning the expected scores were closer than the final margins. And Kansas City is coming off 2 lucky results. So season-long luck and recent luck in favor of Tampa Bay being the unlucky team, as well as season-long luck. So that's why I'm going Tampa Bay +9 as my first pick here. Now, for my second pick, we're going to clarify things a little bit here. My official pick, my official prop that I'm going to give out is not SGP-able, not parlayable. Yep. So I'm going to give out my official pick, and then I'll transition the market to a market that is SGP-able. So my official pick is Kareem Hunt, longest rushing attempt under 14.5 yards. And then for the SGP part of this, what we're going to be voting on is Kareem Hunt under 64.5 rushing yards. Kareem Hunt hasn't had a run longer than 13 yards all season, right? So already he hasn't cleared this at all this year. And that's, despite a lot of favorable conditions in these games. Now, if we look at yardage, his median is 73.5, so 64.5 is a long way down. But again, a lot of favorable conditions for Kareem Hunt in these games. In the 4 games he has played this year with Kansas City, they've been 1% more run heavy than expectation, right? Than game script expectation with Kareem Hunt in than with him not in. And it's likely because they faced 4 straight run funnel or semi-run funnel defenses. The Chargers, the Saints, the 49ers, and the Raiders are all better versus the pass than they are versus the run. Some by very large margins, right? The Saints 13 versus 31 pass to run. and San Francisco 2 versus 19, right? So some of these pretty heavily. So they've faced a lot of defenses where it makes more sense to attack them via the run game because they're less efficient versus the run than they are versus the pass. Well, Tampa Bay is the opposite of that. Tampa Bay is 17th in defensive DVOA versus the pass, but 10th versus the run. So Kansas City, even though Mahomes has that kind of tough cover 3 matchup, would still be wise to focus more on the pass game here. Also, those 4 opponents that Kareem Hunt faced average less time of possession than Tampa Bay does by about a full minute. So there just may be less chance for Kansas City to possess the ball, than they would against Tampa Bay. So fewer rushing attempts that way. And when he does get rush attempts, 45% of Kareem Hunt's rushing attempts this year have gone to the right side. But that's actually where Tampa Bay has allowed its lowest yards per carry. Just in terms of the longest run market, but it also applies to total yardage, right? Because if you're ripping off long runs, you're more likely to clear your yardage. Tampa Bay has given up 8 runs of 20 yards or more, but all 8 came in the second half, and 5 of them came to the left, of course, where Hunt runs the least. Of those 8 runs as well, one was a QB scramble, so we can kind of remove that from the sample size. 4 were either to Jahmyr Gibbs or Derrick Henry, and another one was to Saquon Barkley. Those are 3 of the 4 best run offenses in the NFL, and Kansas City doesn't have that. They're still top 10, but Kareem Hunt hasn't been ripping off explosive plays. So really, Tampa Bay is not allowing a ton of explosive plays aside from super efficient run offenses. So I like Kareem Hunt unders here.
These are very thorough explanations, Nick. I actually enjoyed listening to this Kareem Hunt portion because I know a lot of people are considering like his touchdown prop or even just like maybe even laddering some rushing yards, thinking that KC is just going to run away with this. But no, Kareem Hunt under 64.5 rushing yards, along with a bonus, but official prop, longest rush under 14.5 yards. Sean, so we're going to decide between Kareem Hunt under 64.5 rushing yards and Tampa Bay +9. Let's vote. All right, Sean, what do we vote here? I got it on the Bucks.
Same.
Yeah. All right. We're both on the Bucks. So even though we do think Kareem Hunt probably isn't going to be having a very decent matchup today, we love the Bucks to cover as big underdogs today. All right. So I've got 2 bets, gentlemen. One is going to be a touchdown prop. Another one is going to be a rushing yard prop. For a touchdown prop, though, we're going to look at Xavier Worthy, the rookie with the Kansas City Chiefs. He's around +220, +230. He's got 5 touchdowns this year, 3 receiving, 2 rushing, and really starting to see his target rate go up since the Rashee Rice injury. 20 targets over the last 3 games without Rice, 2 touchdowns, back-to-back games with 2 red zone targets as well. DeAndre Hopkins is obviously back in the fold, but I think he's still going to be getting up to speed, not playing nearly as many snaps as Worthy. And the Bucks, Nick brought this up, they play zone at a lot, cover 3, and they play zone at a top 7 rate. Well, Xavier Worthy is the only Chiefs pass catcher this season to have a touchdown versus zone, and he's got 2. So Xavier Worthy, 2 touchdown, or pardon me, just a touchdown rather, is the first option. The second bet is going to be Baker Mayfield to rush for 15 yards, over 14.5 rushing yards. Baker has cleared this line in 5 of 8 games. He's averaging 21 rush yards per game. He already has a career high this season in rush yards for a season at 169 with a 10-yard rush in all but 1 game this season. But also the rushing attempts and just the probability of him running the ball more, it just seems to be going up higher. He's averaging the same rush attempts per game as last season, but his scramble rate has increased significantly, nearly 50% year over year. And with this Chiefs pass defense just so strong, I think Baker's going to be running for his life to extend some drives here. So Baker Mayfield over 14.5 rushing yards and Xavier Worthy +230 for an anytime touchdown are the 2 options. Gentlemen, we'll get to voting. All right, we're back. Are we doing a Worthy touchdown or are we taking Baker to run for his life?
Worthy.
All right, we are going Worthy
We
for an
are
anytime
worthy.
touchdown. Yes. All right, so first 2 legs now of this parlay are going to be Bucks +9. We're going to pair that with Xavier Worthy for an anytime touchdown. Now it is time. Sean Koerner, please tell us what are the two bets you are doing for this Monday Night Football same game parlay?
All right, so for the first one, let's stay with Worthy here. I'm going to go with Xavier Worthy over 43.5 rushing plus receiving yards. I just think this is a good spot to invest in the rookie's upside. He's seen his target rate go up following Rashee Rice's injury, which isn't too surprising. But more importantly, he's seen a 28% target rate in these past two games following their week 6 bye. And that's kind of a common thing you see with rookie wide receivers uh, getting their usage to go up a bit after their bye week. The offense can game plan better around the rookie. Rookies just tend to get better as the season goes on, but typically after their bye week, we do see that happen, and that's certainly been the case with Worthy. And he's due for some positive catch regression. He's only caught 51% of his targets this year. Next Gen Stats has a 70% expected catch rate, so pretty big potential boost in catch rate going forward. And I like attacking the rush plus receiving yards market for him because of his rushing upside. He typically does see about, a carry a game here. And Tampa Bay has allowed 3 of the 4 wide receiver rush attempts against them to go for more than 15 yards. So we could see him break an explosive run here. So I like the idea of just combining both the rushing and receiving yards here. I'm projecting his median closer to 47.5 in this market. But again, I just love his upside here. All right, and then for my second one, this is an official prop. It's a gross under, of course. And I'm going with Justin Watson under 18.5 receiving yards. Last week in DeAndre Hopkins' debut with the Chiefs, he only ran a route on 33% of Mahomes' dropbacks. We could see that double tonight now that he has a week under his belt with the team. And I think the player that's going to impact the most is going to be Watson. Watson already struggles to draw targets. He's only seen 7% target rate on his routes run this year, so a dip in playing time will only lower his floor even more. And he's actually due for negative catch regression. He's caught 83% of his targets this year. Next Gen Stats has it closer to 76% expected. He's for whatever reason he's not seeing that many deep shots this season, so I think he could stay under this even if he does get a catch or two. That's typically not been the case with him, but I think we're safe there. Even if he gets 2 catches, we have a chance to stay under. Plus, we could see a ton of rain tonight, and I think that would hurt Watson the most. And the Bucks blitz at one of the highest rates in the league. So if they do blitz here, Watson's only seen 1 target against the blitz all season. So a lot of reasons to like his under here. Projecting him closer to 15.5 with about a 60% chance he stays under 18.5. If that drops, I would pivot to under 1.5 receptions. I'm also showing that at about a 59% hit rate as well.
Thank you for that tip, because I imagine now, as soon as you just gave out that under 18.5, it's going to get steamed very quickly. Might even be off the board at some spots. So we'll see how it comes back up, whether that's going to be, 18.5 still, maybe even down to 17.5. But Nick, me and you, we've got to vote here. So let's vote. Xavier Worthy over rushing and receiving yards, or Justin Watson under on 18.5 receiving yards. All right, Nick, are we Worthy or are we Watson?
Dude, I love this. I didn't even need to use the back of my card. Just keep it the same. Worthy.
Saving a tree one pick at a time, I guess. Xavier Worthy over rushing and receiving yards, 37.5. So that is going to be the third leg of the parlay. Nick, before we recap the parlay, I just wanted to ask, what did you think of taking Worthy here in this spot, maybe over Watson?
Well, it's all about the correlation, right? You gave us touchdown. Sean likes rushing and receiving. Look, I like Bucks to cover, and that means Worthy, it doesn't matter what game script, right? He could run, he could receive. So it's just a really nice option here that kind of becomes script neutral in a way. And some of the funny stuff I talked about where Tampa Bay has given up long runs comes to wide receivers. I talked about the 20 plus, but in the 15 to 20 yard range, they've given up like 3 or 4 runs of 15 plus yards to wide receivers, right? Like Zay Flowers, Ray McLeod, those types of guys. So I think Xavier Worthy absolutely could rip off a long run as well.
All right. So we've got Bucks +9 from Nick. We've got Xavier Worthy anytime touchdown from myself. And we are pairing that with Sean Koerner's pick of Xavier Worthy over 37.5 rushing or 43.5 rushing and receiving yards rather. If you parlay all those together at Bet365, you can get that at 8-1. Once again, that parlay is Bucks +9, Xavier Worthy anytime touchdown, and Xavier Worthy over on his rushing and receiving yards. All right, gentlemen. Well, we've got an 8-1 parlay in the can. I'm feeling good about it. I want to thank everybody for watching Action Island for Monday Night Football for Bucks Chiefs. On behalf of Nick Giffen, Sean Koerner, and myself, Gilles Gallant, aloha and bon chance.